In this Star Wars Outlaws video, I will be taking a look at the most controversial mission in the game and deciding if it was worth all of that hate or if it is actually good. Before I do share all of this with you though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws videos. So, if you don't remember, there was this huge drama about a mission in Star Wars Outlaws back in April. A key bit of misinformation went viral, and it harmed the game's reputation, no pun intended. I made a video back then clearing up the controversy, which certainly helped a few people out, but in comparison to my video, hundreds of thousands of people saw the lies online instead of the actual truth. It was so harmful to the game's reputation that to this day there are people online sharing the lie about this game, which is just insane to me because it was cleared up all the way back in April and the game has come out and no one who is actually playing the game is complaining. The mission in question is called Jabba's Gambit. The reason why it's so controversial is that various Twitter accounts and websites completely lied about it. They claimed that this was the Jabba mission in the game, as in the only Jabba mission in the game, and it was locked behind the Season Pass. If you had been following the official social accounts for this game or watching my videos, you'll know that Jabba was a key part of Outlaws from the very beginning, and this was not the only way to meet him, nor his only piece of content in the game. He was going to be part of the main story and part of the reputation system, which is a key pillar of the gameplay. He was never just going to be Day 1 Season Pass DLC. It is entirely valid to take issue with it being included in the Season Pass on launch day. It may have been taken out of the game and put into the Season Pass. It should be given to everyone at a later date, but it still isn't good. The reason why we believe it should be given to everyone at some point is the wording, and this is not the first time Ubisoft have done this. They've done this for over a decade with many of their games. They're limited to the Season Pass on launch day, and then months after launch they're available somehow for everyone. Also, these missions are typically small 15-minute long missions, and many people thought it would be something hugely significant. Which takes me on to actually reviewing the Jabba's Gambit mission. So if you got the Season Pass, or Gold Edition, or even the Ultimate Edition, you'll have access to this mission, Jabba's Gambit. How you access it is just completely integrated naturally into the game like other missions. ND5 will tell you he has a debt to Jabba, and you'll be able to do the mission at any point once you hear that. It will be added to your list of quests as a main quest, and even after you've completed the main story mission you can do this, so you can do it before or after, it doesn't really matter. As expected, this mission took 15 minutes. That's it, just 15 short minutes, almost dead on for me to complete. It was actually very easy compared to other missions that you'll do in the main story. Whilst it felt a bit short and too easy, it did have some interesting mechanics going for it, which I enjoyed. I liked the investigative parts, but it didn't go far enough in terms of depth compared to, say, the Avatar game. I think they could have had more detective elements. I am going to be talking spoilers here, but to be honest, unless you of course want to know absolutely nothing about this mission before doing it, there's nothing really major going on here. I really did enjoy how it involved 4 factions battling it out for their own gain. You also had 2 different occasions to make choices that affected your path. They are technically inconsequential, but I appreciated the choices on offer. It actually made you feel like this meant something. For example, I really enjoyed the standoff between the Empire, Crimson Dawn, and yourself. That's quickly followed by the ending of the mission where you can either choose to hand over schematics you found to Jabba or keep them for yourself. I tried both options so I could do this review properly, and I was surprised by the outcomes of the choices. If you keep the schematics, you will be able to sell them on for 1500 credits, which is decent, but once you've completed the game, isn't a big deal. But on top of that, Jabba will place a debt on you, which he'll come to collect at a later date, so they say. As far as I know, that's just a narrative thing and nothing more. Jabba won't be hunting you down at any point or something. This actually is kind of a depressing ending because of how Jabba acts and how Kay reacts to that. Whereas if you hand over the schematics to Jabba, you won't get those 1500 credits, nor will you have this theoretical debt hanging over your head. So if you want the cash, it's best to actually keep the schematics. What I will say is that I really enjoyed how Jabba was in this mission. I thought he wrote pretty good, and it was a nice second dose of Jabba after the significant part of the story that we have him in. To me, the choices that you can make is some impactful stuff considering this short mission. You are asked to go from point A to find a clue, take out 7 enemies, go to point B, take out 10 enemies, go to a waypoint, make a choice, go to another point, and make a final choice. That's Jabba's Gambit in a nutshell. It's quite a fast-paced mission and, like I said, can be completed in a short time. But I actually did like the content I got, even though it was relatively basic. I just would have loved to have seen more depth in some departments, also for it to be a bit longer. It does not have any stealth elements outside of one combat situation where you could crouch and hide in bushes and take out some enemies, but to be honest, it's so easy you can just go guns blazing. Those that aren't keen on stealth gameplay will be pleased with this mission, so it does have that going for it. Although I am a stealth enjoyer, so I would have liked an actual stealth section, I think. I think I would have preferred that, and it would have bolstered this mission even more. I dispute anyone who says this mission is absolutely integral to Star Wars Outlaws. It was an interesting mission to do, despite its flaws, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the game. Sure, the decision making is cool and interesting, but again, it's not essential to playing Star Wars Outlaws. I really do hope Ubisoft release this mission though for everyone later down the line, perhaps through Ubisoft Connect with coins. It's certainly not worth all of the outrage and hatred towards the game back in April and even right now. Again, I'm not saying the practice of including a mission in the Season Pass Day 1 is good. It's not good. But these people claiming that it's the only way to see Jabba in the entire game and it's locked behind Season Passes and this, that and the other is simply not true. When we knew from the very beginning Jabba was going to be in the base game and played an important part and wasn't just relegated to DLC. I would love to hear your thoughts on this mission if you have played it, so please do comment down below. And if you haven't, what do you think of what I've talked about and this review? Let me know down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws videos, including tips and tricks plus news updates. And if you missed any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.